Tokariki Lad down the outside, the bump of the leader. Here comes Red Chasing Tokariki Lad. Red Chasing Tokariki Lad. They hit the line.
Welcome to this
Tokariki
week's
Lad
edition
got up
of
to
the
win.
Final Gallop. It is episode 228 and is proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. This week we're going to preview our forerunners at Saturday's Brisbane Racing Club meeting at Eagle Farm, and we'll also take a look back at our activity at the Magic Millions Cutest Yearling sale. Morning Tony, it was a big day for our stable last Saturday at Doomben, most notably with All That Pizzazz winning the 500,000 Cutest Jewel 3-year-old.
Yeah, good morning Claire, good morning everyone. Yeah, it was a big weekend. It's our sort of Mecca Cutest day, isn't it? And to have it at home at Doomben was terrific. It was great for All That Pizzazz. We backed off him in the summer with an eye to really have him spot on for that race and the lead up to it, and he was able to win them both. So I know he had a whole bunch of happy connections, and well done to all of them. They kept the faith in him, and he repaid us well. So it's always good when you put a plan like that and it comes together. It was terrific. And another little horse that won again on the weekend was Situation Room. He's just going super. He got the double prize money for being a cutest horse as well. And I think I've said on the show now a couple of times, if you had every horse tried as hard as what he does, you go to the races pretty confident you can be in the finish each week. So they were two really good results, and we had a really busy couple of days down there at the Gold Coast. Well, John had quite a busy week leading into it to get everything in order for us, and then some spirited bidding down there. We were able to secure, about 8 lots, I think, from the sale. So it was a busy sale, and we bought some lovely horses.
Nearly all those horses from the Cutest sale are sold already, but there is still some availability in the Spirit of Boom colt and Dubious colt.
Yeah, that's right. They did go pretty quickly, but there are still a couple of really nice colts there, both nice horses. The Spirit of Boom colt, he's quite well related, I think, and I do believe this is probably the best stallion that mare's been to. So, she's already thrown city winners and a group winner, so there's no reason this colt wouldn't be a lovely horse. He's a lovely action horse, and I really liked him. And the Dubious colt, he was a real standout the minute he got on the ground. He was the one that you saw. He stood out. He looked like the really nice Dubious as we saw in January. Yeah. So he was kind of a must-have for us from the sale. We do want to try and go there and buy what we feel are the nicest horse or the best horse at the sale. Yep. And I felt we come away with a really, really nice bunch of yearlings. We didn't buy a whole lot, but what we bought, I think we bought some nice horses. So there's not a whole lot left there, team. If you do like either of those colts, I couldn't recommend more going into them. They're terrific horses. And there's a couple of cutest horses left from earlier in the year too, just shares here and there. Another Spirit of Boom from Classics, and I think there's a little bit left in the filly from Melbourne as well. So jump on if you are interested.
That's right. That email is sales@gollanracing.com.au if you are interested in securing a share. Just a quick comment before we get into the preview about Zeus Style and Natuno. How did they come through their runs at Rosehill on Saturday? It didn't prove to be a day for on-pace runners. No,
it was a tough day down there. I thought going into the Rosehill with the really warm weather in Sydney that the track might have played to a real speed day, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Obviously a lot of irrigation on the track, which is, for the horse welfare side of things, it's not a bad thing. Made life a bit tougher for ours. Natuno, he's come through the run really well. I thought he was quite brave. We didn't really want to be where we ended up, but he just stepped away well, and Ryan had to work with him. He's came back. He'll get set now here for the Brisbane winter. We won't take him away again this autumn. He's just not executing well enough yet. And Zeus Style, a couple of things with Zeus Style, whether he just felt the pinch a little bit from the Oakley Plate run. It was a bloody hard run first up, so we'll back off him too for the winter here as well. So he's only got 1 or 2 more runs in him here in the winter, and you'll see him next spring. So a bit of a disappointing day down south, but we were lucky enough to be able to have the flag flying nicely here for us with we spoke about already with All That Pizzazz.
Absolutely. Okay, let's look at our runners at the Metro meeting at Eagle Farm on Saturday. The rail will be in the 1 metre position. The track is currently rated a soft 5 with mostly fine conditions, so you think we'd get back to a fairly even track?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I think Eagle Farm's racing, particularly well now. It's racing nice and fair too. There's no advantage to be covering ground in running, etc, etc, etc. So I'm pretty happy with the way the surface is racing. Still a little bit horses for courses here. You still definitely see that, even though it's a softer surface with a better grass coverage than what we've seen more than a year ago. It still is that little bit horses for courses. You're still going to find the horse that runs better at that venue than what he does at Doomben, and then vice versa at Doomben as opposed to there. But I think we've got a pretty nice little team in on Saturday.
Okay. We will start with race 4, which is the 3-year-old handicap over the 1,600 metres. Compass Rose will run 53 kilos with Angela Jones's 1.5 kilo claim. She has drawn barrier 3. She's currently paying at the moment $5.50 to win and $1.70 for the place. It was an impressive win at this track and trip last start for Ange to break her maiden. She does start at the mile and is drawn to get a lovely trail.
Yeah, lovely filly there. She won the maiden pretty well like I expected the other day, to be honest. And I don't know what to do with her from there, whether we step her up to 2,000. There's just a bit of a gap to that type of race. So we've elected to go on a 10-day backup. I don't do it a whole lot, but she's a really good doer, this thing. She's a good eater. She looks $1 million. I've just kept her fairly happy in that last 10 days. Just a couple of little bits of tick over work, nothing too strenuous. And if you watched her going on and off the track this morning, she's a quite playful filly, being to say you think. She's very, very bright. So I think this 3-year-old mile race, it certainly lacks a lot of genuine Saturday depth.
Okay.
So going from the maiden to this, I don't feel it's as big a step as what it would be, say, if we were going from a maiden to a 3-year-old 1,200 on Saturday, which are deeper races here in Queensland. So I do think she's found the right race. We know she loves the mile. We spoke about horses on the track just before. Well, she was dominant on this track the other day. Her last 2 runs have been at Eagle Farm. They've been terrific. The mile at Eagle Farm, as we know, holds no fears for us.
Okay. We'll move on to race 6, which is the Class 3 plate over the 1,400 metres. Madame Odette will run 53 kilos with Angela Jones' 1.5 kilo claim, and she has drawn at barrier 7. She's currently paying $8 to win and $2.90 for the place. Had a great debut prep in the spring, winning on debut, then going on to win the Toowoomba Guineas by 5.5 lengths. She's had plenty of work leading up to this, including a very nice trial last week.
Yeah, Claire, I thought you would have been a Madame Odette, not a Madame Odette.
As I say, chance instead of chance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sort of a little bit surprised there with your pronunciation of that word. Yeah. So, yeah, I love this filly. She's a really nice filly. We saw her really make her way last time. I totally ignored that last run in Sydney. The runs in Queensland were outstanding. She had a really good break. She's came back terrific. Trying to get her into that Princess Series here in the winter. Okay. I have to sort of start her off this early. The lead up racing for the fillies to get into that series, I don't love it all. So maybe if anyone racing in Queensland watches this show, they probably don't. They should probably look at their programming because it makes life hard.
You'll ring them and tell them anyway.
I actually have already. So this is a nice lead-up race for her. Then we can go 4 weeks to start off in that Princess Series. But she's a lovely filly. Her trials, she had 3 jump outs and trials. I've had a lovely prep getting her ready for this. Her work Tuesday was good. She's a quality horse, and I'm sure she'll race very, very well Saturday.
Race 7 is the open handicap over the 1,200 metres. Halal runs 60.5 kilos. Jimmy Orman on board, jumping from barrier 8. He's currently paying $3.60 to win and $1.55 for the place. He was disappointing on his first start run for the stable at this track in distance last start. He did have a bit of a wide run, but you still think he should have responded a bit better, but you put a tongue tie on.
Yeah, tongue tie goes back on. He's had it on in the past. Yeah, you're right. I've looked back on his first up runs now for a while, and they've all been similar. He does tend to improve sharply second up. He normally goes out in trip. Now, I'd so much prefer if this race was 1,300 or 1,400. Unfortunately, it's not. Yet again, programming has made life really difficult. Just with the cutest day last week, there was a nice 1,350 there that you had to be a cutest only horse. So, just the way it pans out. But he's in good order. I think the jockey change, no knock on Anne. She's doing a great job. But a young female apprentice as opposed to a good male senior, I think, that's not me being sexist either. I just think this stallion will respond better to Jimmy Orman's riding. So I know Orman's very keen to get on him. He's ridden him in quite a few gallops here. Yep. He really likes the horse, and he's looking forward to riding him on Saturday. So I'd imagine you'll see a big improvement in form, second up run, which is his pattern. Yeah. The only negative I have in him, guys, I would prefer it to be 1,300, 1,400.
Okay. We'll move on to race 9 now, which is the benchmark 85 handicap over the 1,400 metres. We have Briars Kingdom running in this, who's finishing off his breakfast behind us there. He will carry 56 kilos with Angela Jones' 1.5 kilo claim. He has drawn barrier 10. He's paying $3.80 to win and $1.70 for the place at the moment. He has put 2 wins together back to back. The first one was from the front, and then last start at this track and trip trailed the leader and showed his strength late with a fighting win.
Yeah, he's been awesome, hasn't he? He's been so consistent, and I spoke about horses for courses. Well, he's the horse for this course. He never runs a bad race here at Eagle Farm. He hasn't ran a bad race for us the entire time he's been here. So he's done a great job. He's just getting up where it hurts. Yeah. With Angie's, claim diminishing a little bit too, we just don't get in as well as the weights we did the other day. We really set for that race. It was a month or so between runs, a month and a half, I think, between runs. And he won quite well, sitting up on what was a hot speed. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get a kinder run in transit. Yeah. It won't go as hard they did the other day. But he loves Eagle Farm. He likes the 1,400. He's still in well at the weights. And He's just that genuine sort of horse that puts himself in a position and he's going to give you a great side for your money. So I think he's pre-post favourite at the moment. This will be probably a $4 the field betting race.
Yeah.
A lot of chances in it. He's as good as any, I'm sure.
Well, he's listening to you intently, so. We are into the final furlong of this week's Final Gallop. Who do you think your best winning chance at Eagle Farm on Saturday is?
Well, I'm certainly not going to put any more pressure on Halal than he's already got on him, so I'm not going to make it him.
Okay.
Although I am sure he'll run really well.
Yeah.
I'll probably stick with Mr. Reliable over in the back here, Briars.
Yeah.
He just puts himself in a good position each week in, week out. But I think, yeah, so I'll go with him. I'll go with Briars Kingdom.
Okay, your best each way chance?
Definitely Madame Odette.
Okay.
I really like this filly. She's got good improvement, a long way to go in the prep, but I'm sure she'll run really well fresh up 1400.
We have a few at the provincials over the coming days. Who do you think your best chance there is?
Yeah, well, it's a tricky few days at the provincials. I thought Caesar's filly, she trialled really well last week at Doomben. I thought she looked pretty well placed up the Sunshine Coast on Sunday in the 3-year-old fillies 1000.
Okay, your best track worker this week?
Best track worker this week. We had a pretty good morning here on Tuesday morning. I thought Halal was pretty good. He worked really well in company. He's probably the pick of them this week.
Yeah. And I think I know what your performance of the week is going to be, but
Yeah, could it be? No, it'll be a little pizzazzle.
A little zazzle.
Yeah, he's a little beauty. I love this little horse. He's a little ripper. So yeah, he's my performance of the week, and just like I said earlier at the start of the show, Claire, it's just great when you back off with a plan in mind.
Yeah.
And things weren't going that well for us in the summer with him. And then to see the change in the horse, how well he looked, how he responded to that little bit of a freshen up, and then get the job done. Have to do it tough too, 3 deep, no cover.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
He certainly did. Okay, it is time for Cav's Corner Witches, supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. He was bold and went win-win last week, but both came in place. He should have gone to stay to his tried and true formula. What could have been? Let's hear what he's got for us this week.
Welcome to Cav's Corner for this week. No joy last week, couple of placings. This week we're going to go Madame Odette at Eagle Farmer Place, into Caesarus at the Sunny Coast on Sunday, a win. Good punting, guys.
So he's gone Madame Odette a place, he's gone half of it back the other way, and Caesarus a win. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yep, pretty good.
Yep.
I think that class 3 1400 will be a pretty big open betting race, and with scratchings etc. things might change a bit. But I think she's over the odds, so I think her place money will be fine. And Caesarus, obviously we've got to see barriers etc. for Sunday, but with the nice fine rest of the week ahead of us, on her jump out or trial the other day, she's certainly up to the mark.
And he's gone back to his tried and true of betting on his girls.
Oh yeah, he loves his girls.
Yes, that's one thing he does love, is his girls. Good luck on Saturday, Tony, at headquarters. Hopefully have a good day.
Yeah, good luck everyone out there. Enjoy the week. Looking forward to getting back to Eagle Farm on Saturday.
Best of luck to everyone.